I'm 83 years old and my children only call me when they need money. It's a strange thing to say out loud. I used to think I'd never be that kind of father, or that kind of old man. I don't have much time left. You feel it in your body before anyone tells you. The way your knees don't quite trust you anymore. The way mornings come slower. The way evenings stretch longer than they should. And the silence, it sits heavier now. I'm not telling you this because I expect anything to change. It won't. I'm saying it because I can finally see things clearly, and there's no use keeping quiet about it anymore. These days the phone doesn't ring often. When it does, I already know what it is. I can tell from the tone before the words even settle. Dad, I was wondering if you could help me out this month. They don't ask how I'm doing first. Not really. There's a quick "how are you" sometimes, but it feels like a door they're trying to get past, not one they want to walk through. I always say I'm fine, and then I listen. I still send the money. I don't even hesitate. That part hasn't changed. Maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe it always was. There was a time when I thought providing was the same as loving. It seemed obvious to me back then. My own father was the same way. He worked, he paid for things, he made sure we never went without. He wasn't around much, but we never questioned whether he cared. That's how it was done. I followed that without thinking. In my 20s, I worked long hours, factory shifts at first. Then I moved into something steadier, accounting of all things. Numbers made sense to me. They behaved. You could rely on them. People were harder. I met my wife when I was 27. She laughed easily. That's what I remember most. She used to say I was too serious, that I carried my thoughts like they were heavier than they needed to be. We had our first child 2 years later, a boy. I remember holding him in the hospital, thinking about all the things I would give him. A better life than I had, more stability, more comfort. I didn't think much about time, not in the way I should have. Time always felt like something that stretched out ahead of me, like a road I could take at my own pace. We had 2 more children after that, a girl, then another boy. By then my days had a rhythm. Work in the morning, work in the evening sometimes. Weekends were for errands, repairs, things that needed fixing. There was always something. I told myself it was for them. I remember small things. My daughter asking me to come watch her school play. I said I'd try. I didn't make it. My oldest son wanted me to teach him how to ride a bike. I told him I was too tired that evening. Tomorrow, I said. Tomorrow came and went. Something else always took its place. At the time, these didn't feel like decisions. They felt like postponements, small delays, nothing permanent. That's the part I didn't understand. My wife would sometimes sit at the kitchen table after dinner, long after the plates were cleared. She'd look at me like she was waiting for something I didn't know how to give. "You're here," she said once, "but you're not really here." I didn't argue. I didn't agree either. I just didn't know what she meant. I thought being present meant being in the same house. I thought paying the bills, fixing the roof, keeping things running, that was enough. It's strange how you can live inside a life and not fully see it. Years passed. The children grew. They stopped asking me to come to things after a while. I noticed that, but I told myself it was because they were getting older, more independent. That's what happens, I thought. There was less noise in the house as time went on. Less laughter, too, though I didn't name it that way back then. My wife started spending more time outside the house, visiting friends, taking walks alone. We didn't talk about it. We didn't talk about much, if I'm honest. Then one day she got sick. It wasn't sudden. It crept in quietly. Tiredness at first, then tests. Then words I didn't fully understand, even though they were said plainly. Cancer. I remember sitting in the doctor's office, nodding like I was following along. I wasn't. My mind kept going back to small, ordinary moments. The kitchen table, her laugh, the way she used to wait for me to say something, anything. I thought we had time. We didn't. Those months were the first time I truly sat still. Really sat. I stayed with her. I listened. I tried to be there in the way she had always wanted. But by then she was tired. There's a look people get when they've made peace with something you're still trying to fight. She had that look. One evening, not long before the end, she said, "You don't have to fix everything." I didn't know what to say. I had spent my whole life trying to fix things. After she passed, the house felt hollow. Not empty, hollow. Like something had been taken out of it. Something structural. The children came around more at first. They helped with arrangements. They sat with me. But even then, I could feel a distance I didn't know how to cross. We had shared a life, but not in the way I had imagined. Time moved again, the way it always does, quietly, without asking. They each built their own lives, jobs, families, responsibilities. I told myself it was natural. It is natural. But something else had settled in, too. We didn't have much to say to each other. When they called, it was brief, practical, updates mostly. Then eventually, requests. "Dad, things are a bit tight right now. Can you help just this once?" I said yes every time. I still do. I don't bring up the past. I don't ask why they don't visit more or why conversations feel thin. What would be the point? You can't build something in a moment that was slowly left undone over decades. That's the part people don't tell you. Or maybe they do, and you just don't hear it when you're younger. Loss doesn't always arrive with a clear sound. Sometimes it settles in quietly, over years, until one day you realize what's missing. I sit in the same chair most evenings, the one by the window. I watch the street. People come and go. Neighbors I don't really know. Sometimes I think about those earlier years. Not the big events, the small ones. The ones I thought I could come back to later. The bike rides that never happened. The conversations I postponed. The moments I treated like they would wait for me. They didn't. My children aren't cruel. That's not what this is. They're just distant. And I understand it, more than I wish I did. You can't expect closeness if you never really practiced it. I gave them stability. I gave them what I knew how to give, but I didn't give them enough of myself. And now, there isn't much left to give. When the phone rings, I still feel something. A small lift, maybe. Even knowing what it is. I listen to their voices. Older now. Tired in ways I recognize. I wonder if they see it yet. The way time moves. The way things slip by. I don't tell them any of this. What would I say? That I wish I had sat down more often? That I should have listened instead of always thinking about the next task? That being needed for money isn't the same as being wanted? Those aren't things you say late. Those are things you live early. If you're listening to this, I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm just telling you what it looks like from here. You think you have time. You always think that. You think the important things will wait until you're ready. They won't. I'm 83 now. My days are quieter than I ever imagined they'd be. There's no anger left in me. Not really. Just a kind of understanding that came too late to be useful. I still answer the phone. I still send the money. And when the call ends, the house goes back to being what it is now. Still. There isn't much left ahead of me, I know that. I don't need anything from them anymore. not in the way I once might have. But sometimes I think about what it would feel like to have a conversation that isn't going somewhere, to sit across from one of them and not feel like we're strangers trying to remember something we never quite built. It's a quiet thought. It comes and goes. Most things do at this age. I've made my peace with it, as much as a person can. This is how it turned out, and now there's only what remains.